Welcome back, y'all.
What up, fool? Like a little nonchalance.
Yeah, it was very mysterious.
Yeah. I felt like I needed to be like a little cooler with that one, you know? Like not quite as eager.
Oh, I see.
I'm trying to be cool.
Just playing it cool.
We had a meeting yesterday and we learned how not cool we are.
Our branding person's like,
they're like, yeah,
needs to
that's
be more
an
cool.
okay idea, except for the fact that it's lame. I was like, man.
I've never felt more like an old frumpy mom in my life than like around any of the younger cool branding people that were around. I'm like, I feel like I should be more cool. I'm not really that old, but here we are.
We're both not cool. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I used to be cool, and I can talk
We have
about
a cool
that.
team, though.
Yeah, I'm cool adjacent.
We're kind of boring. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, I'm super boring.
So you know what? Today
we're gonna go to sleep early.
You are super.
Yeah.
I know you are super boring.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's like, "What are you doing?" You're like working and sleeping and maybe climbing a mountain. That's it.
I exercise so that I can sleep. And then I work.
You're like a little baby, like driven engine. You're just like, you're like the Energizer Bunny if you saw the background takes of his life.
Yeah, he just like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's it.
That is great. I've never thought about that. Like, what's the routine of the Energizing Bunny? Right here, folks.
That's it.
Just copy it.
Taylor
Copy
Thomas.
and paste. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, this leads kind of into our topic. Today we're going to be talking about unity isn't uniformity. I love this topic. I always say that. Obviously, we want to talk about, maybe we should pick something that I don't love and be like, ugh.
One day you're going to be like, I hate this topic.
I mean, certain things I'm like, this is not my strength. But I think that working with someone as driven as Taylor and someone who is so, you're just like so on it all the time. I think there is you're the only person to date that I've ever felt this way about. You actually outwork me and it pisses me off. Like
I don't know.
Everyone else is like, you do so much. Taylor's like, you fucked it up.
I don't.
You missed the ball. And I'm like, damn it. He's better than me.
No, it's not true.
No, it is true. And it's great. Like, I am so grateful that I have someone on my team that actually drives me to be better. I think the challenge with that is like, I can try to be you, and me trying to be you does not work for my lifestyle. Because I have a family that comes and wakes me up at 1:30 in the morning, literally last night. And it just doesn't work. And like, also, I don't have a mountain home that like there's not cows in my backyard. There's cars. And so like, it just doesn't work. And so I think there is a real challenge where unity can be taken as uniformity and we have to be the same, where unity means our differences actually gets us closer to our mission and we're truly better together. And so my question before we get too far in is, when is a time that you felt like we were truly humming because of our differences?
Humming, like doing well, like synced up.
Like there, like, you know, like a beautiful engine hums.
Oh, yeah.
You like that? You like my car vibes?
That's good.
I love cars.
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, I think we've actually, you and I, you know, we're gonna like talk specifically. I think we've actually done a lot of work in kind of that vein and work to communicate very well. Like, to your point, I think that there was some time when we first started to build. I think this is natural. I think it's actually like to the point of what we're going to talk about today, where you when you care about something or you're invested in it emotionally, you can kind of, you know, you want to just like be helpful or show up in whatever way works. And so I think we both found ourselves being like, I was like, oh, like Christine's really good at this. Like I'm going to try to do more of that and like show up this way. And then you like were doing that towards me. And then we both kind of like over time realized we're like, oh, it's like, that's not actually the goal, because like, what's the point of having two people moving specifically from like a founder perspective, moving in the same direction if we're both trying to like do other people's things. Like I'm good at some stuff, you're way better at me than other stuff, and whether that's just like the physical work output or also just like how we think about things and solve problems. And so I think, like, to your question, I'd say like in the last year I've really felt that way, where like I think we are really good most days at recognizing and being really comfortable with how we show up and where we kind of shine, and just doing that well, and then not expecting the other person to be anything other than that. Like this week we were speaking at 2 events and we were talking about that. I was like, oh, I really feel like the energy is really good because we're both really like comfortable and confident in like how we show up together and make each other better. And that creates like a better output. Like you don't need to like be a public speaker like Taylor's a public speaker, and then vice versa. And not that we're not working to like refine that craft, to use that specific example, but there's also like there's a uniqueness there, and that's good. So yeah, great question. I think we've come a long way, and I think for those listening, that only was created because we were willing to communicate and work through it. Like you and I both were just like this doesn't feel like it's working. Like something's off. Like we're not in sync. We're not, and like we kind of like were able to uncover that. And you were like, oh, like I feel like I'm just like trying to do things your way. And then I was like, oh, that's not my expectation.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that. And that was causing you a lot of stress. And that's happened on on the other side too. And yeah, I think like just talk about it.
Yeah, no, communication I think is really big here. And I think there is a difference. Like the differences doesn't mean you're divided. Like if you're unified, there actually is differences. It doesn't mean you look the same or you have the same gifts. It actually means you are different. And so unity isn't uniformity in that way. Like it doesn't always have to look the same. And so yeah, let's talk about this. I feel like this is really hard to identify as a leader who is in hiring. Like it is really hard to understand when it is a misalignment versus a difference, and when you're going to get unity versus uniformity, because there has been teams, even with the Enneagram, I'll drop this real quick, even with the Enneagram, you started using the Enneagram with certain teams and they're like, we need all peacemakers. You're like, nope, actually that's not the move.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Nope, we're not going to do that. Or like you and I could very easily be like, we need all challengers. We were both challengers. To be on this team, you must be a challenger.
Yeah, that would be horrible. No.
We would be the most unfun team ever.
Everybody would be so lame.
We'd all be mad all the time and grumpy. No, yeah. we're great.
Not mad and grumpy.
No.
Yeah. No, that's a great example. That really highlights it. Yeah, like you really need that diversity in those personalities and how people approach things to really create a unified team. That's a great. I hadn't actually thought about it through that lens, but that's a perfect example. Like you want that full kind of spectrum of approaches and expertise and how people see the world, and then like combine when you bring that together, that creates the full kind of scope of opportunity and experiences in the workplace. I want to define, to that end, I want to give people some specific language. I want to define unity versus uniformity. So before we get into the tactical piece, like just what we're talking about here is, I'm just gonna say it like flatly and give some definitions. Uniformity is where everyone like looks the same. Now I'm not talking about physically, but everyone like moves through the world the same. They have the same approach. They try to solve problems the same way, whatever. Unity is when there is a shared mission and values despite differences. So despite the differences in approach or process or whatever, there's a belief in a shared mission, and you recognize that those differences actually are what add up to move you in the direction that you want to go. And so the best cultures embrace this type of diversity. And again, by all means, diversity from, other places in the world, other backgrounds. But what we're really talking about is like diversity in terms of the input, like how people are thinking about how they show up, how people recognize their gifts, how people so at like a even more granular level, really. The best cultures embrace diversity in thought, in background, in their role. That's unity. That's what we're talking about. Uniformity is when it's just like you can everybody needs to think the same. We've seen that a lot, right? People people are hiring, to work on this team, you got to solve problems this way. I'm like, well, you're going to get the same result. And that result could have worked. But if you want to do something different, or you want to accomplish something different, you have to do something different, I think. And so you have to come at problems the same way. And that, I feel like we're kind of on the other side of that. But there was a while where that was kind of a popular thing where people were like, this is the
like-minded.
Yeah, this is the Taylor way, and this is how we do it at Taylor Industries. And they're like, oh, geez,
yeah.
It's that's the uniformity that we're talking about that doesn't elicit a culture that yields the best results. And so we're gonna undo that today.
I have a really fast, silly analogy for this.
I love it.
Okay, so
this is about cars. You've been on a car thing.
I have. No, it's about food, which we both love. So one of the ways that we say you have to like to work with us. This is a joke. This is not serious. Don't come at me, guys. So you have to like to share food to be on our team. You have to like dogs. You have to like to share food. If not, it's just not a culture fit, which we have some data for. We don't hire from that place, I promise. But all the HR people are like, but one of the ways that I think about this is that unit or conformity would be you at Impact Initiative, we only eat sushi.
Mm-hmm.
You can only like sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Unity is we have a vision that we love to share experiences in food.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone gets to pick a different type of food that they love to share that experience. Maybe it's served a different way. Maybe it's a different type of food, whatever. And so I think that it is very different to say we only eat sushi at Impact Initiative versus we enjoy sharing experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Right? In my head, that's kind of how I think about it.
Love that.
Is it's the mission actually can change. We should look for diversity through the mission, but the vision should always be shared.
Love it.
So
super clear.
Great.
I'm also hungry for sushi now. Great. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, after last night, it's hard to beat.
We had a great sushi meal.
Yep.
All right. So with those definitions in place, with hopefully an understanding of what that actually sounds like, the difference between uniformity and unity, how do we build alignment without shutting people down? Because this is the other, there's a nuance here where you do have to kind of thread the needle and have to deploy some language and some tactics that are going to create some different inputs and ultimately some different results. So Christine, walk us through what that alignment looks like tactically. How do we do that?
Yeah, I think this starts with having regular team huddles and meetings.
Yeah.
You hear it talk about it all the time. If you don't have true connection, you can't have understanding. And this is not about being in conflict, but it's truly about being connected, because if you don't have connection and understanding, it just doesn't, this doesn't work. And people have silent expectations, which is what you're saying, just talk about it. So talk about it, schedule a time, talk about it. I know you all hate meetings. We're going to say it, talk about it. And then the second piece is reinforcing values and not personal preferences. See, sushi.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a value game. Reinforce the value. What matters most is what a value is. Reinforce what matters most, not a personal preference, which you might get to the same results 50 different ways, and that's totally okay. It just has to be in alignment with the values. Respecting people, whatever that is. And then celebrate constructive disagreements. It means people care. If they're pushing back on you, that is you guys, that is the most loving thing you could do to me. Just like disagree with me. I love that shit until I don't. That I do think that there's just something, if someone is willing to push back on you, someone is willing to disagree with you, it's the nicest thing they can, or it's the kindest thing. I'll use our own language, clear as kind. It's the kindest thing they can do for you. And it's the kindest thing you can do for the people on your team, and have those disagreements and like get to the best answer. Don't try to be right. Do you want to be in a relationship or do you want to be right? You don't get both most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what is best for the team? What's most in alignment with your values? And then wrestle it out. Like, let's have some real collaboration, which means you're talking about the disagreements, you're talking about the differences. Let's go there. So, what are the signs, Taylor? Like, okay, you're like, okay, get it. But let's talk about the signs of culture drift, of like, how do we know this is happening? Because really, when we're not doing this well, the culture starts to kind of, like you said, corrodes, and it just just starts to drift away. So, let's talk about that. What does that look like?
So when the culture is building in the direction of, or through the lens of, uniformity and not unity, that starts to take on there's a few specific indicators. One of those is cliques start to form. So you have, a couple people that feel the same way start to go off and kind of do their own thing. And so again, you're getting away from this collaborative effort, from a shared mission, from a shared vision, again, tying into those collective values. And you have the values of, different cliques or a few individuals that start to pull apart and separate themselves from the shared mission, vision, and values. Communication breaks down. So when that happens, when you have people, again, where that collaboration, that shared mission and vision are not the priority and not the lens through which we're seeing things, then communication is going to break down, because you're not communicating through that shared language. That's really one of the pieces of why a really strong mission, vision, and values for an organization is important, is because it gives us shared language by which we can communicate anything, challenging conversations or otherwise. You have communication breakdowns. Next is that we get this kind of passive resistance. So again, we talked about this on previous episodes. It's not my job. You start to opt out. There's avoidance. It's not that they're not doing their job. It's just that there's this kind of passive, laissez-faire approach to how we're moving forward. You lose some of that energy, the drive. You can feel it. It's very palpable in organizations where the culture is starting to drift or shift towards uniformity and not unity. And so the way to solve this is to recenter on the mission and make connection, like you said, really a daily rhythm. And also, like you said, I know everyone likes to bitch about meetings, but it's the primary mechanism through which we have to connect with our team. Meetings suck when they're worthless, when they're not productive. So by all means, don't waste time. However, they're the key piece, and even, for all organizations, but certainly more and more with remote work, you have to connect. You have to collaborate. And so make sure that we're recentering, again, when you see this drift, we're recentering around a mission, and we have some daily rhythm that connection is prioritized. And when you do that, you will bring that drift back into alignment. So look for those things. If that's happening, your culture is drifting, recenter with mission, and then make sure to just communicate and connect. And that's going to start to bring things back in alignment. And with that,
leadership challenge.
Ding, 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 ding. I want to see like how soft I can say that sometimes,
Someday we'll be cool enough to have an actual sound effects team. Till then, welcome.
Yeah. I actually never thought about that. Like I just never.
You are sound effects.
I'm the worst too. Like I can't do any of that stuff.
You do the ding ding.
Ding ding ding
Great.
Is all I can do. If we're asking for more than that, it's going to fall flat.
You guys.
My ding 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 is just my voice. It's like there's no affect.
So if you have an opinion about this, you can be a sponsor on Impact Initiative and we can get effects, you guys, sound effects.
Help struggling leaders fix their ding 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 sounds.
Okay, so leadership challenge. This is going to be super tactical. This changes the game. We do this quite often. Host a 10-minute team huddle this week. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Heck no.
And ask your team or ask the people around you what's working and what feels off. If you're not doing this on a regular basis, you're missing the ball and you're leaving a lot of information on the table, which means you're leaving money on the table. So if you want to make more money, you want to have better results, do this. I'm not kidding. And realign what unites you and what makes your space unified. Like, and what differences make you better, and have that conversation. This doesn't have to be long. This doesn't have to be a kumbaya, like just real facts. What's working, what's not, and then where can we actually reunite and leverage our differences? So there's your leadership challenge. Schedule it. Don't think about it. Don't try to make a decision. I promise you, and that it will change. And then let us know how it changed, because it really does work, and it's always really good time invested. So, Taylor, what do we have coming up? There's a ton of stuff this next couple months. We have all kinds of things. So, catch us up.
Yeah, first and foremost, impactinitiative.network. If we can be a resource, let us know. Reach out, share your wins, where your challenges are at. We are here to support. So again, that's impactinitiative.network. In-person stuff. We are in person July 30th and July 31st. Those are our recurring events that we've been doing. Those are stellar. If you're in the Denver area, check the links in the show notes. They are incredible. The people in that room are fire. And yeah, so lots of stuff. We'll give updates. We got stuff August, September, lots of in-person things, speaking engagements, lots of cool stuff coming to fruition as the season progresses. So super excited about that. But for now, you can find us on impactinitiative.network. And then July 30th and 31st, if you're in anywhere close to Denver or you want to fly in and come hang out with us, it's also worth it. We'd love to see you there. So until then, see you next time on Impact Minded.
Bye, y'all.